one of the other interesting things, Dan, was the deployment of Kai Havertz today, which was slightly different from the opening match at Brighton, where he was wide and ineffective. I mean, I'm sure the lad's chasing his fitness and he's finding his feet in the surroundings, but he found himself, whilst he was on the field, in a more central role, with Werner at times playing a lot off the left, with Mason Mount moved on to the right. But again, he was underwhelming, I would say, at the moment. Not questioning his talent, but I think for the first two games, he's certainly a player that, when Pulisic and Ziyech is fit, at the moment, he's going to be the one, I think, coming under threat because of his first two performances.
Stevie, how would you sum up the two new boys for Chelsea today?
100%. I agree with Craig. I think I feel a little bit bad for him because at the end of the day, if you're a forward, then you're relying on your midfield and particularly getting you the ball. And that just wasn't happening when they had 11 men, and it certainly was never going to happen with 10. So, in some ways, some of the responsibility is his, but in a lot of ways, the midfield of Chelsea just is not getting the forwards the ball as often as they should. So, consequently, somebody like Havertz is going to be absolutely ineffectual.
And sorry, Dan, that's the difference between the two players, Werner and Havertz. I mean, clearly Havertz is, hasn't got the experience of Werner. Werner's not exactly ancient, I think, at 24, but he's way more experienced. But he's going to, when Chelsea are poor, like they were at times, then he's going to, as Stevie said, is going to make him look worse because Werner's a busier player. He chases after things and makes things happen. He makes runs. He goes and gets involved. Havertz is not quite that kind of player, or certainly hasn't been in his very, very short time at Chelsea. He's almost reliant, as Stevie touched on there, in getting the support around him and getting the ball to him, and then maybe he can produce a bit of magic, where Werner, almost with his busyness, goes and makes things happen. So in that essence himself looks as if he's having a better game because he is so lively. But it's early days. It's just we've seen so much of these players in Germany producing some really good stuff, and Chelsea are going to be under pressure. Lampard's going to be under pressure with all these signings, that I think we were expecting, certainly from Havertz, even early on, just some glimpses of that magic we knew from Leverkusen, and we really haven't seen it up to this point.
You kind of wonder as well, Dan, Frank, in the back of Frank's head, he's got to be thinking, listen, when Pulisic's fit, who sits? Because I think you got to play Pulisic. And it would seem to me that clearly so far it's going to be Havertz. Mason Mount does a lot of other work defensively that the other two can't do. And Werner's going to be playing. And as I said, when Pulisic's fit, he's going to be starting. He has to. So Havertz himself, and Frank must be thinking already, what's going to happen when Pulisic's fit? I think that's what's going to happen. Havertz is going to be sitting on his backside.
Liverpool, they're making
it. But Stevie, there will be another problem. Sorry, sorry, Dan. There will be another problem because if you put Werner and you want to put Pulisic, you're going to put Ziyech on the other side. You will have to reinforce the midfielders and make sure that Kante will be with other good midfield defenders, where Jorginho and Kovacic are not. The players, they know how to play football, but they don't know how to defend. And that's going to be a problem. And Chelsea still have that problem. Okay, they signed Thiago Silva. It's going to be better defensively. Chilwell is a good attacking fullback. But I'm still worried about Chelsea when they don't have the ball. When they have the ball, they will have talents and no problem. When they don't have the ball, they're not a block. They're not very strong. And I'm wondering if they can handle. Remember last year how many goals they conceded. That was awful.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.